Welcome to AP Workshops, welcome to another one of our tech videos. So we're going to show you today about doing a oil change on your V990 Rotax engine. So that's Gen 1, Gen 2, all of those bikes with the V990 engine in. We're going to give you a quick rundown on exactly what's going on with the parts that you're going to need, the oils that you could use, so we can show you all on that. So before we go too much further, we're going to have to show you exactly what parts you should be using. So effectively, dependent on what market you're in, depending on where you are in the world, there's two different types of oils that we're going to recommend. There's the 1040 and the 1550. We sell a motor product in this shop because we believe at this particular point in time it's the best that we've found so far. Also, and if you have a look at one of our previous films, it will give you the idea of which oil filter to use. There are two different types. If you have a quick look back, or if you go into YouTube and put into the search bar AB Workshops oil filter, it will give you an indication of exactly what's going on. This particular bike has the extended type oil filter. So what we're going to do is show you how to do an oil filter. So this one's going to be a bit of a weird one because I'm going to start doing the job and then it's going to go all fast forward and we can sort of show you how it works. But it's kind of boring watching me or watching oil drain out of an engine. So we'll fast forward that little bit and we'll carry on. So show you all the tools that are laid out, show you how to go about doing that. We'll be back right in a second. So the tools you're going to need to use, we've got a torque wrench. We use a quarter drive torque wrench with a 10mm socket on. That's for the drain plug on the oil tank. We've got 6mm Allen key. We've got 5mm Allen key. We've got a 3/8 drive there, 5mm Allen key. This is for the oil filter, and we've got a 6mm 3/8 one there. This is for undoing the parts, no problems. We've also got ourselves a 10mm spanner. This happens to just be a ratcheting type. We've also got, like I said, the two oil filters, the oil and the oil filter O-ring. So when we're actually doing the drain on one of these dry sump engines, we're going to drain this off cold, no problems. There's 3 points of draining on this. There's the oil tank drain plug, there's the oil filter, and just behind here you can actually see there's the sump or the engine casing drain plug here. So we're going to go and speed things up a little bit because it's pretty boring watching oil drain. Okay, so thanks very much. Welcome back to the normal speed bit. Unfortunately, if I could work at that double speed all the time, I'm sure we'd be doing pretty well in this workshop. So what we'll do then, we're making sure that all 3 points are now drained out or leaking out as much as we can. So there's the oil filter cavity in there. I'm just going to go and run a bit of clean cloth in there just to make sure that we're getting as much out as we can. Okay, one thing to check is this is basically the magnetic drain plug. Now the magnetic drain plug runs from just to the right of the actual oil filter there, so we'll have a quick look just to make sure this section here is magnetic. If we just have a quick look or a quick close-up of that, we can see that there's just a little bit of grubbiness on it, nothing there to worth worrying about, so we'll just use a bit of cloth, clean that off, just make sure there's nothing in there. So anything that's magnetic that starts floating around in this sump or in the bottom base of the electrical crankcases gets caught up on that, but that's all clean as a whistle, no problems. We are going to replace the oil filter O-ring. Okay, the oil filter housing O-ring. These are available in the shop, so if you have a look on the website, you can see that they are absolutely available. Here's a classic example of what's going on and what happens in this particular situation. If you look at the oil filter housing, you can see that there is basically there's a little bit of goo on there, so we're going to try cleaning that off and making sure that that housing is absolutely spot on, fresh O-ring going on there. You don't need to put any sealant on it or anything along those lines. That is absolutely fine going back on there. So we've got sump plug for the tank, sump plug for the tank, the magnetic drain plug. We've got the oil filter casing that's now clean and ready to go back on. We're going to fit on an oil filter housing. If you have a quick look on here, you can see that I always write the date, my initials and a little smiley face on there just to make sure. Now we have had this a couple of times, or basically, so if I've done it, you've got a smiley face in your engine. So I have had this a couple of times when people fit the oil filter in the oil filter casing the wrong way round. So it has to go in with the rubber facing and fitting over the little stub that's inside. So it's going in, so the actual blocked off face there on this is going in the outside like that. That fits on like that. Put the oil filter casing over the top. We've got the two 5mm Allen key screws. Fit back on like this. Okay. Change this over to 5mm. 5mm Allen key bolt, and we'll make sure that this goes down a bit at a time, like that. We'll come back and torque all of this up in a section. In a moment, we're going to put the magnetic drain plug back on, so that goes up behind this white in there like that. Make sure that's fitted back on. This one's a bit fiddly because the pipe work's in the way. That goes on like that. Okay, so we'll tighten that down. No problems, we'll come back and torque that up. And if we have a quick look at this, this is the drain plug for the tank. You can change the washer on this one. This one looks in good condition, so I'm not going to do anything on this one. No need to. Ratcheting screwdriver, ratcheting spanner, sorry. We will tighten that back up. So we now have a bike that is now oil tight. So on this particular situation, we're going to run with a 10mm. Angelo, what is the torque setting on this?
Which one?
The actual sump plug for the oil tank.
10 newtons?
10 newton meters on this one. Okay. And that one. Perfect. Then we've got the two screws for the oil filter casing, should be 11 newton meters. One, two, and I can't remember again, what is the magnetic drain plug? 12?
15?
15 newton meters. That's what happens when you don't use your loaf like I don't frequently. Here we go. Okay. 15 newton meters. That's done. Let's make sure we take that off there. Okay, so that now is absolutely oil tight, cleaned up, no problem. So one thing that I do afterwards, once I've actually done this, is I take a tyre pen, just a regular tyre pen that you buy off of eBay, and basically mark up the screws so you can see what's going on. So mark up, use a little bit of a tyre pen, you can see if they're coming undone. So if you put here a little line underneath, just so you know that's been done. You can see that they've been done, you can see if they're coming loose then as well, so no trouble whatsoever. Always put a little mark on there, job done. Okay, so basically now we've filled the bike up, or we filled the oil tank up with 3 litres. You should be able to see that start to come up. So once we've done that, we're going to remove all of the funnel, put the lid back on. Then what we're going to do is start the bike up. We're going to run the bike up till the fans come on. This is a wet sump setup. So, sorry, dry sump setup. It's not a wet sump setup like your standard Japanese stuff. So the dry sump setup is checked, and you check the oil level while the engine is hot. So we're going to start the bike up and wait till the fans come on for at least at least 2 cycles. Then we're going to let the engine settle. We're going to let the oil level settle for about 30 seconds, check the level and top it off.
2,000 years.
Okay, so that's it. 2 heat cycles done, which means the fan has come on twice. We've now, if you notice, all of the oil has gone out of the oil level tube. So what we're going to do now is top up the oil level. So we want to sort of somewhere between, on these engines, I recommend that we run them somewhere between sort of maximum halfway up the line. So let's run it at maximum halfway, somewhere between 1/4 and halfway up the line. So that's stopped. Watch when it tops up, topping up. Here we go. Don't worry if you go a little bit over. The problem you've got is it's when you go fill it right the way up to the top, what you can do is sometimes find out that you end up with a lot of oil in your, that's perfect. A lot of oil in your airbox, especially if you like to do a wheelie. So basically make sure you've topped up, make sure everything's tightened up. That's it, that's all done. That is a oil filter and oil change done on your bike with it all locked down. We've marked off the bolts to make sure that we know that they're done. The one thing that I haven't spoken about at this particular point is health and safety. Obviously make sure you get rid of the oil in the appropriate place. Down the drain doesn't cut it these days. And use gloves. The reason being is because old engine oil is horribly carcinogenic. It is nasty stuff. So look after yourselves, wear gloves, make sure you get rid of the oil and filter in the right place. If you need any help, get in touch with us at the shop, no problems. If you need any parts, they're all online. You can go and check that if you wanted to, www.apworkshops.co.uk. If you need any help, don't forget, give us a call at the shop, no problems. You can email us, sales@apworkshops.co.uk. And finally, the one that Amber keeps giving me a telling off for is, if you like what you see, if you have any ideas about what else you want us to do, please don't forget to like. You can hit that little bell button, hit the thumbs up, and basically give us a subscribe. Let your mates know what's going on. Thanks very much. Take care. Talk to you soon.
Now Griff's done with the bike. Come with me, I've just got something to show you. Come on. Mind the doors we come through. Just on the website, we have been working really well, doing our very best just to get some more little offers for you. Everything that Griff's used on the bike is all available here, especially these little oil service kits we've knocked up. Real cheap, and we've managed to get a real good price on the postage, so take advantage of it. All available on the website. Last one.